Okay, so I'm starting to get the shell of the building modelled up, but the last thing to then enclose that is to put the roof on. And the... oh, sorry guys, over there, can you just keep it down, Priscilla, and... sorry, I can't see. Just keep it down a bit. Okay, so with the roof on, we'll have an enclosed space, and then you can go back and refine the details and correct everything that's wrong, and there's a lot wrong at the moment. The first thing maybe you'll notice is that the walls coming out there around the balcony shouldn't be there, so I'm going to delete those before doing the roof, and you'll know that you'll have additional walls that are then set back from that edge of the balcony, and I'm going to go right ahead and draw those in with the wall tool. Again, using storefront for now. We'll modify storefront to make it into the curtain wall that you need in a little while, but for now I'm just going to draw from the end of my existing curtain wall, making sure I use space as necessary to flip the direction of that curtain wall. And because we don't have any accurate measurements for this, I'm going to do it by eye. You can see it's roughly 1.5 meters, I think, set back from the front wall there, coming down and then back to the left, and that will help me with the roof. Right, so while I'm at it, I might just show you a little thing with curtain walls, and I'll do a whole video though on curtain walls after this, because I know you need to do quite a bit with those. But maybe you are aware with these curtain walls, when they join at a corner, you'll often see the mullions come up like this, and I don't know if I've shown you much with corner mullions. No, not really? No, good, okay. So, so storefront, if you don't know, is a pre-built curtain wall that's set up with mullions and panels that are predefined. And so if you select any mullion, for example, you'll see it's pinned, which just means it's predefined as part of this storefront, selecting the wall, storefront curtain wall. Okay, so that's fine. I'll use tab if I need to select just the mullion. And I'm going to select the one above as well, so using control, I'll select that mullion in line with the one below. And you can see they're both pinned. They come up with this pin icon. So I'm going to unpin them on the Modify tab. You can see in the Modify panel it gives you this little pin icon with the cross. And that means I can then modify them, and I'm going to delete them. So with the delete button, I can take those two mullions away. So now I'm just left with one mullion on that corner. Then I'm going to select those mullions that are left. Again, use tab if you need to highlight the one you want before using control to select it. And again, they're pinned, so I'll unpin them. And now, instead of deleting them, I'm going to change them in the Modify panel to a corner mullion. So you'll see there's a mullion, quad corner mullion, or sorry, quad mullion 1. And now it joins correctly. And you can do that at any corner. So I'll do it a bit more quickly with the next one. It's much easier usually to select with a window to get the mullions you need on a corner. It's usually pretty easy. So I've got two mullions there. Unpin, delete, selecting with a window again, unpin, change it to a corner. So any corner you can usually fix fairly easily like that. Okay, so one more time. Oops. So just making sure I just get 2 of them, not 4. Wants to give me 4. There we go, 2 selected, unpin, delete, get the other 2 that are left, unpin, and change them to quads. Maybe one last time. Delete. Okay, so with the two that are there, unpin, and now I can change it to a quad. Okay, so you can do that on the corners, on the on all of the joins of those walls. And so that gives me a pretty good layout to then create my roof. And so you might have realised the roof shape, let's just look at the photo, is basically a tapering form. And so I want to model that. First I'm just going to model it all as one piece. Later on we'll maybe turn it into a true parapet with the part behind set down with another roof behind it, which is the way it is in reality. But because this is an interiors project, you're probably not that focused on the outside of the building anyway. So the main thing is just to get the basic form modelled up to begin with. And so in Revit, you have all these different roof tools, but unfortunately none of those are going to give us the kind of roof we want, well, not without a lot of work. And so instead of using that approach, I'm going to suggest you use model in place, and you're already pretty good with that. You've done a whole subject really where we did really just that, or a lot of using that modelling approach. So hopefully you're pretty comfortable with those tools. I'm going to start by going to the roof level, my roof floor plan, which should have the walls greyed out. And so if you don't have this, if your walls aren't visible, then it means that you've got to change the underlay setting in your view properties. Check that underlay is set to the level below the view you're in. So I'm in the roof level, or the roof plan, so underlay is set to level 1, which is my level below that. If your walls are coming through in solid black, that means that they're too high, and you can check all of this in your section view. You should see that the the levels there go basically in that order, with the ground floor, level 1, and then the roof. And the walls should stop at that level. If you've got your walls going through the roof level, you can always bring them down afterwards, as long as you're aware that they need to stop there eventually. So back into my roof floor plan. Now I can make my roof, not using the roof tool, but using model in place. And you can set the category to roofs. So as far as Revit's concerned, it's a roof, just like any other roof, just made in a different way. Okay, and I'll call this parapet roof. Will do. Okay, and now need to decide which tool to use. So I'm going to use the blend tool to make the roof shape, but I'm also going to look at the photo just to get a better idea of the distances we need, and really the most important one is the soffit. So is that one you've heard before? Soffit or soffit? Yeah, good, yeah. So if you don't know, the soffit is this, underneath the roof, under your eaves, essentially, you have that lining, and that's your soffit. And so we need to know that distance, which is really our eave. So that distance isn't given to us anywhere. We've got the AutoCAD drawing as a guide, but it's not going to help a lot there. Maybe we can measure just to see how it's been drawn there. So about 550, that's what I was going to say. It looks like it's about 600. And again, the great thing with Revit is, if we need to change this, then it's an easy thing to modify afterwards. So I'll go with 600 as the eaves, or the soffit. And again, I'm using the blend tool. And so, again, just have a good look at the photos to get an idea of the form you're trying to make. And so you'll see, if you go through all the photos, that the roof does finish flush with the other side of the building. So that's, in other words, this edge up here. And instead of drawing lines, I'm going to go to pick lines and pick that edge at the top. Now I want the soffit, or the eaves, to project 600mm from the front of my curtain wall. Okay, so I'm going to use still pick lines, but I'm going to put an offset in on the options bar, 600mm. And now if I pick the front edge of that curtain wall, making sure the line is going to the left, it'll give me that that projection. Now I'm going to pick one down the bottom as well. You'll see why when I go to join all of this together. So I'm going to pick part of the curtain wall right at that corner. Let's look at the photo again. And so then you can see it comes around at the angle, still projecting out that 600mm, so coming again from the edge of the curtain wall, 600. And then, yeah, I'm just going to assume it's the same all the way around, so down again to here, to the bottom, then it goes back and along the warehouse part of this building, or the storage area. So we'll just keep picking those different edges. And I'm not going to go too much further than that. If you really want to, it's not a difficult thing once you've modelled up the front part of the building to copy it down the back if you want to have views that show more of the building, just to put it in context, but it's not essential. So for now I'm just going to finish it at that point. Well, I'm going to make the roof up to that point, in other words. Still need to do a lot more to finish it. And so then I'm going to change the offset value back to 0, so I can pick some of the edges and have it basically flush with the curtain wall. So you can see here that, and actually it does project, I'd say, a little bit. It's hard to see there from these photos. So I'm going to assume maybe, because I don't really want it flush with the wall if I can help it, I'll make that offset 100mm. And I'll pick the edge there and around the curtain wall I've made just previously. And then now I will set it back to 0, just so I can pick the back of the building, because I don't really want to worry about what's happening there. I just want it flush with the walls. And so you can see, if you have a look around this sketch now, I've got an edge or a line on each side of the roof shape that I'm trying to make. And I can then use trim to corner and join these together. What happened there? Oh, I went the wrong way. Okay, so it's basically following the outline of the walls that I've already made, but again just thinking about how far it needs to project, and that's going to give us the tapering angle. So then to make the top of the roof, the top edge, so just to make it clear what I'm doing, I've basically done the bottom edge of the roof now. Now I want the top edge, and that is essentially going to follow the line of the curtain wall, but maybe project out 100mm from there. Okay, so again using pick lines, I'm going to change the offset to 100 and just go around again making sure I pick the edge of my curtain wall, not the edge of the slab. Oops. Okay, so then to the left. Now sorry, I've picked it while I'm still in edit base, so I better undo that last one. You need to go to edit top to do the top shape or profile. Pick lines, and there we go. So we come down. For this part, I don't want it to taper, so this edge here should basically sit right on top of the edge that I've made for the base. And now I can see it will be confusing when you see the drawing of this, but when you see the finished product, it should be a lot clearer. Okay, so then to keep it consistent, I'm going to come out 100mm from this edge that isn't a curtain wall, but it has the tapering roof section above it. And then for the parts where I don't want it to taper, where you just want it to be flat, you can pick the edge in line with the one below. So that's the same here. And there we go. So now with trim, again, you can join all of this together. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Okay, so you can see then I've got this shape which is essentially offset 500mm from the base where we want it to taper, and it's going to slope along that that distance. And then you need to put a height in for this roof. So again, I'll use the AutoCAD drawing as a guide. It should be fairly close, so I'll just measure that distance. So 1500, that sounds about right. Look at the photo though to see, yeah, that sounds about right. You're not building the roof again, so as long as it's close. Okay, so then in the properties, for the blend, you can put the second end as, I'll just make it a round number, 1500. Right, tick to finish, and that'll make the roof. So I'll have a look in 3D view, and you can see then this tapering roof shape. Right, now, like I was saying before, later on we can look at cutting out the back of it so that it's a true parapet with the main roof recessed behind that. But for now, you could leave it just as it is. So yeah, exactly.
And so if you're going to get another little extra, it's going to push the top of that.
That's right, yeah, yeah. And we'll have to have the ceiling reset cut into that as well. So later on we'll have to cut out of it no matter what. But for now, it's fine just to have that block form. So I'll finish the model. And then looking in the section view, that should look pretty good. So you can see there, now that I've got a bit more done, it's fairly obvious that I haven't done much with the right-hand side, so you can always crop your section to just show the part you're working on. Hide your section, hide your crop region if you like to make it a bit neater. And there we are. So you can see then the roof there, sitting directly above those walls, and again I'll just show you quickly in the 3D view. Now making sure the columns don't go through, yeah, so right, it's an interesting building, this one. Anyhow, we'll look at the structure later. I don't want to get too far into that, but it's got an interesting structure, to say the least. Well, maybe just one little thing you can then just have a look at the what you're going to do with the balcony there, and decide if you're going to put the canopy over the roof that you can probably pick up in some of those photos. You can just about see it there, but in some of the other photos you can see it a little bit better. Now, it's behind the trees there, there's a canopy. You've probably seen it more than I have. There we are. Okay, so that maybe will give you an idea about the canopy, but that's optional anyway. So for now, as long as you've got that basic form done, that's really good. And so anyhow, I'll give you some time to do that.